Hello everyone, I'm Michelle Smith and welcome back to my channel. I have a Dollar Tree spring wreath for you today. In today's crafting adventure, I'm going to show you step by step how I created this adorable bright and cheery spring wreath. All of the materials I used to create this beautiful wreath came from Dollar Tree. Let me show you how to make it. To get started on today's project, you're going to need a garden stake. This is the one I'm going to be using. It comes on this long metal stake. It's really easy to get that off. Just kind of grab close, go back and forth, circle, twist until it loosens up, and then it should just pull out. And then you have this adorable little VW bug. Now they also have in their garden stakes this really cute little tractor. Either of these will do. You'll just need to change your color tones to suit whichever one you're going to choose to do. But I absolutely love the VW bug, so we're going to be using this one today. You're also going to need one of these mounting pads. This is a cable mount. And it's this little plastic square. It's 1 inch by 1 inch. And it has a little opening that's lifted so you can put a zip tie or a cable tie through there to mount. Now it does have a sticky side. It has a little piece of paper you peel off and it's sticky. I don't trust that. So I'm going to add Aleen's original tacky glue. I want to make sure that this holds on and doesn't release because I don't want my sign to fall off. And Aleen's tacky glue is supposed to be weather resistant. Whether it gets hot or cold, this will not release. So get a good mount on there, and you need to find a space where it can lay completely flat and have full contact. Okay. I placed it right there. You're going to want to set this aside. You want this glue to fully set up. If a little bit oozes out, just clean it up. You want to keep your work as clean as you can. The mounting pads are 1 inch by 1 inch. You can pick these up at any hardware store. These that I picked up will hold up to 40 pounds, so they're sufficient for your sign. In this package you get 10 count. I paid between $3 to $4 for this. So these come in handy. They work very well to attach a metal sign to your wreath. You're also going to need one of the 8-inch wire wreath forms that you can pick up from Dollar Tree. They come in a package of 2. You'll only need 1. Then you'll need pipe cleaners that are cut in half. I have pulled out several colors. I want this very springy and bright, so I picked out 1 package of the lavender, a package of yellow. Now this yellow I happened to get from the 99-cent store. Pink and green. All the other mesh I got from Dollar Tree with the exception of the yellow. And then I also pulled out these. This is the snow-covered mesh. I really like this. In the Easter section, they do have yellow and light blue and pink. So all of these I want to mix in this wreath. I like all the different colors and I wanted the different textures. Now, depending on whether I'm going to be using this one or this one depends on the method that I'm going to use. For the snow-covered mesh, I'm going to be using the curl method, and then for the regular mesh, I'm going to be using the cruffle method. When I use the regular mesh, it tends to fray, so there are only a few types of methods that I'll use the Dollar Tree deco mesh on. when I do a cut method. The cruffle method works well because you roll the ends so you have less fraying. That's why I chose that. I'm going to get my mesh opened and prepped, and then we'll get going on doing the base of the wreath. For the snow-covered mesh, you'll want to cut your pieces at 6 inches in length. You will need 3 pieces of each color per bundle. And I'm going to keep my bundles all the same color. And we're doing the curl method. So you just want to roll it up. I do a good size, like a fat cigar. Hold it between my fingers while I roll up the next one. Now this snowball mesh is very sheer, so that's why I'm doing 3 of the same color together so that I can get that color tone. I just put them in, one in the center and crisscross. Take half a pipe cleaner. Wrap it around the center. I always like to pull my mesh or my ribbon forward. That way it's easier to get a nice tight grip. You want to pinch right at the base and twist. And that is what your little bundle should look like. I'll show you again here with the yellow. You need 3 pieces, cut at 6 inches. Roll them up like a fat cigar. Take your pipe cleaner, put it in the center there, pull everything forward so you can get a good grip. Pinch at the base and give it a good twist. You will need to make 6 bundles of each color of this snow-covered mesh. On the regular mesh, you want to cut your pieces at 12 inches. For these, we're going to be doing the cruffle method. So you start at one end and you want to give it a roll. I usually do 2 to 3 rolls. And then I clip it, move to the other side and do the same thing. And then you want to go ahead and scrunch it right down the center. Take half a pipe cleaner, wrap it around that center. Get it nice and tight and give it a twist. And that's what your little bundle will look like. I'll show you again. Cut your piece at 12 inches. Start at one end. Do 2 to 3 rolls. Clip it. Scrunch down the center. Wrap your pipe cleaner around the center. Pull it nice and tight and give it a twist. You'll want to make 6 bundles of each color except for the pink. The pink you want to make 12 bundles. Now that I have my bundles made, I'm starting to add them to my wreath. Now this wreath has 3 sections, and in each section I'm putting 16 bundles. So that is 2 of each color, except for the pink, there's 4. Now as I'm attaching these, I'm simply just mixing the colors and the textures. And I'm just attaching it to the bar in the center. Just put the pipe cleaners on either side. Pull it to the back nice and taut. Give it a couple twists. Now, because we're adding this just to a single bar, you can actually cut your pipe cleaners 3 to a single pipe cleaner, 3 pieces, because they do come out quite long. So what I do is I fold that in half and then push it forward. Otherwise they're really long and you could possibly see them. And then push it over, and I'm just mixing the colors and the textures. So I'm going to do one with the snow covered, one without, and just, you don't want any specific order. Just keep it very random. All of these colors go good together for spring, and a lot of them are in our little metal VW bug, whether it's the pink bug or the flowers on top. Okay. But look how pretty that looks. I love that mixture of the different textures and colors in this wreath. I'm going to get all my bundles on, and then I'll come back and we will move forward. I have the base all done. I am very pleased. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, very bright and cheery. I love all the different colors and the different textures. Now, I used a total of 7 rolls of deco mesh. On the regular mesh, I do have much left over, so this would be a good project to use if you have a lot of partial rolls. You can pull out the colors that you need and use what you have. So I used about half a roll of each of the regular deco mesh except for the pink, because I wanted pink to be the dominant color. I used almost a whole roll of that. The rolls of the snowball mesh, I did use all of each of those, and I had 1 in blue, 1 in yellow, and 1 in pink. Go ahead and set this aside. My little sign, my mounting block here is set. I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and slide it right on through. Get it even, and then I'm going to give it a good twist here so it doesn't slide. And now that's ready to go onto my wreath. Now I want to put the VW bug slightly off center, just a little bit over to one side, because I want to put a bow up here. So I'm going to attach it to this side. All you need to do is take your pipe cleaners, separate your deco mesh, and feed it down to the wreath form in the back and attach it. You don't want to attach it too tight until you get it placed exactly where you want it. I got my little VW bug down. I did go in and put a little bit of hot glue underneath to keep it right where I want it once I got it attached. I'm very pleased with that. Next, I'm going to add some of this really pretty pearl garland that I picked up from Dollar Tree during Valentine's Day. You'll want to measure it out and cut it at about 8 to 9 inches in length. You should get about 8 pieces. Fold it in half and add a small piece of pipe cleaner at the end. This is what you're going to use to attach it. And then I've just been placing them strategically. Now this is just going to add a little bit of extra texture and a little bit of sparkle. So I've placed one on either side of my little bug here and one below. I've also placed one up further on this side. I'm going to be placing my bow here, so I don't want to place any here. The rest that I have, I'm going to place on this side. And once you decide where you want to place it, just simply spread apart the deco mesh, get down to the frame, and attach it to the frame in the back. Give it a twist or two, and then tuck your pipe cleaners forward. Then you just kind of pull them up and let them lay where they're going to. I'm going to go ahead and add in the rest of these. We're going to work on the bow now. I pulled this ribbon out. I thought it was very pretty and very springy. Let's see. I believe I got this one at craftoutlet.com. It doesn't say on here where I got it. But this is 1.5 inch floral ribbon. It's 100% polyester. And it's, like I said, 1.5 inch wide by 10 yards. I'm going to measure out a 6-inch tail, pinch, and then place it between the two large dowel rods. I'm going to pull that down. That's going to be one of my tails. Now, because this ribbon is only nice on one side, once you come through the two dowel rods, you need to twist the ribbon so that the nice side is facing down. Now, I'm going to measure out my loops, and I want my loops about 4 inches on either side, and I'm going to make 3 loops on either side at 4 inches. So remember, once you come through, you need to twist so that the nice side of the ribbon is facing down. Measure out your 4 inches and pull the ribbon back through. And you want 3 loops on each side at 4 inches. Now I have my 3 loops on either side at 4 inches. Now I'm going to do an additional 2 loops on either side at 3 inches. Okay, so now I have my the 3 loops at 4 inches and the 2 loops at 3 inches. I'm going to make one more loop. This is going to be my center loop. So I want to come out about 2 inches, pull back through, go ahead and twist. And now I'm going to place my finger here, and then I'm going to pull back through the small dowel rod and the large dowel rod here in the front. Okay, my finger is staying there to hold just enough to keep the bow together. And now I will measure out my tail for the other side to 6 inches and trim. You'll need a full-length pipe cleaner. I usually take that, slide it underneath on one side. Pull it up, then pull my bow up. Need to move it over just a little bit so I'm in the center. I want to make sure you keep that stack the same. I take my pipe cleaner and I wrap it around that center and pull it to the back. Make sure it's nice and tight, and make sure that that little piece stays on the other side so that your center loop doesn't pull through. Once you get that nice and snug, give it a good twist or two. You want to leave the pipe cleaner because that's what you're going to use to attach it to your wreath. Now you can start to open up your loops. I open up my center loop here, and I like to hold my bow just like that as I open up my loops. Pull down your tails. Then you have two smaller loops in the front. You want to separate those two on either side. Then you have three loops in the back. So open those up. If you need to adjust, go down to where that loop comes out and adjust. And that is what your bow should look like. I'm going to place my bow now. I want to place it kind of right up on the top here, slightly off to the side. And then I'm going to spread out my tails so that your bow doesn't sink into your wreath. You'll want to twist your pipe cleaners by a couple inches there. That'll help it stay up on top and not pull down. Simply spread your deco mesh and attach it to the wreath frame in the back. And there you go, I got my bow on. I think that looks really cute. Just going to spread my tails out. Now I'm going to go ahead and dovetail my tails here. I like them pretty much the length that they are, so just clean them up, fold them over, and give it a little cut. I don't like my dovetails too deep. If you cut your dovetail too deep, what happens is your little points curl and it doesn't look like a dovetail. I think that looks absolutely adorable. And there you go, I got the bow on. I think it looks absolutely adorable. Now I think it looks very cute the way that it is. But the final item that I want to add is I have this Spring Fling Floral Garden. And it is this felt daisy garland. Now they come in two different colors. They have this one that is the white and yellow. And then they also have this one that has the bright colors. Now they've carried this the past 2 years. The yellow and white is the one that I'm going to use. When I think of a VW bug, it makes me think of daisies. So what I've done is cut the flowers and the leaves off, and then I just hot glued the leaf on back of some of the flowers. So some have one leaf, some have two, and I have one here that doesn't have any leaves. But I think these are going to make the perfect final embellishment for this wreath. And I'm just going to be hot gluing them onto the deco mesh. And here you go, we are all done. I think the little daisies were the perfect final touch for this wreath. It's so bright and cheery. What a nice way to welcome spring. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and show me some love in the comments. This really does help support my channel. It lets YouTube know that I have content that's worth watching, and then they show it to more people and my channel grows. Thanks again for stopping by. You know, it's always a pleasure to see you. I hope everyone is staying happy, healthy, and strong. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.